So I thought I would cover some of the basics of things that you might need to know about required minimum distributions, and in particular, if you turn age 70 and one half in 2018, you have a required minimum distribution due this year. Now, it can be postponed until next year, but then you'd have two. And there's a lot of planning that goes around when you have taxable income, and sometimes that taxable income when you've got two might not be as opportunistic as taking one this year. Another example, of course, would be if you're still working while you're age 70 and a half, it might be beneficial for you to postpone taking it. So let's talk about required minimum distributions. Now, I know of no other plan, that retirement plan, where you don't have to take a required minimum distribution. I'm talking about qualified plans, 401ks, 403bs, profit sharing, defined benefit, money purchase, IRAs, simple, SEPs, rollovers, all of those subject to a required minimum distribution. However, if you own less than 5% of the stock in the company under which you are in a 401k, then you don't have to take a required minimum distribution from that particular 401k plan. Remember, the rules state that if you have other 401ks, 403bs, etc., qualified retirement plans from other companies, you must take a required minimum distribution individually from each of those. IRAs, no. An IRA, all non-Roth IRAs, can be, at least from an accounting perspective, amalgamated together. And you can take a distribution from any one of them to satisfy the requirements of all. But that is not the case with different qualified plans. And that's really important, because some people will add everything up, including their qualified plans, take a required minimum distribution, and remember, the penalty is quite substantial. There's a 50% penalty on the amount you were supposed to withdraw and did not. So in that case, if you have $200,000 in an IRA and $400,000 in a 401k, and you take a $600,000 amount and take 4%, which is about your first year's required distribution, you take $24,000 out of your IRA to satisfy all. You just violated the rules, and you owe a 50% penalty on 4% of $400,000, or about $8,000 in a penalty tax. So you'll have to make sure that you understand these rules. Now, all of this money will likely be taxable. If the money went in pre-tax, it's coming out taxable. Now, what a lot of individuals do not realize is if you had non-deductible monies going into an IRA, you cannot single that money out and just take out that non-deductible money tax-free. And the example I like to use, because the math is simple, is this. If you had $10,000 of non-deductible contributions, and your total IRA, including that $10,000, is worth $100,000, and you take a $10,000 distribution, only $1,000 of it will be tax-free, 10% of the total. In other words, there's a proration, if you will, of the post-tax money and the pre-tax money.